I'm Catherine Gaff, and I am a senior here at Purdue University of Fort Wayne, and I am working in ceramic sculptures. I'm still kind of new in that, and so I have other projects like a large metal outdoor sculpture and a coffee table and a couple other things, but primarily I would like to work with life-size ceramic figures. My art is mostly focused around the female figure, and I want to kind of talk about the internal emotions and things that go on with women, so things that people don't talk about very often, like anxiety and depression and things that a lot of women go through and occasionally talk to each other about, but I don't feel like it's talked about very often in a wider scope in art. And so I found that building life-size figures was the most intimidating form that I could create in order to portray that to viewers. I didn't think that a small figure was going to portray what I wanted. I needed something that's life-size, that's in your face, that's really like right there telling you that this is the issues that people are going through and this is what they need to do or need to think about. So to do that, I try to put the internal emotions on the outside of the figure, kind of peeling away that layer, the mask that everybody hides behind in their day-to-day life, which is why my figure has a mask, and a lot of times I've had like surgical like cuts, as if I'm cutting away the external skin so that you can get into the inside of it and see what's going on inside someone's mind. Ideas about sexism and objectification and things that I personally have gone through, because I feel like my work needs to be kind of a self-portrait. I want people to understand what I've been through, but presented in a way that people can relate to it and understand. I've considered discussing these issues at large, like what all women go through, but I would have to do like surveys and ask a million questions, and then it's not about me, and it's not as intimate anymore. And so I want to stick with the idea of a self-portrait, which is why I created a body cast. So I created am still creating two life-size figures. One of them is, I would name expectations. This one is expectation, because I took photographs. I had photographs of myself, and I posted them up, and I created the figure from the ground up, building from the feet and working all the way to the top of the head. And in that process, I noticed that unconsciously I began to edit my own body, regardless of whether I was actually choosing to make my thighs smaller or, my belly pudge smaller. It didn't matter what it was. I just ended up noticing that eventually I was editing my own body, which was just weird because I had photographs right there and I knew exactly what I should have been going for. So this is a physical representation of what my own internal expectations are of myself, which is just the way that things have evolved in my brain, and it happens to a lot of women too. So the other figure, I took a silicone mold and cast a mold of my own body, and then I pushed clay slabs into it and pulled it out and built it that way. And in that way, that is like the closest I can get to a pure reality. That is no editing of my mistakes, my flaws, or whatever I have. So, and then after both figures are done, the way that they're going to be working together is the figure that represents the expectations is going to be choking the reality, because that's exactly what happens. You spend so much time worrying about what people think of you and what you should be and what you shouldn't be, and then you just start to kind of suffocate on what you should be, and you no longer have the reality that you should have.